they still following us?
Yes.
Is there one of them? Is he looking at us? Does he have just one hand on the steering wheel? When you hear something that sounds like a gunshot, drive. Nicely done.
Yep, on the road.
Welcome, everybody, to this new show for YouTube called The Manic Movie Reviews, where we're going to talk about Man from U.N.C.L.E. today. Boy, do we have a lot to say about...
The man from shit.
The man from shit, exactly.
The shit from U.N.C.L.E.
Just, you know...
What a piece of garbage movie.
Yeah, it was, you know...
Especially Hugh Grant. It was all his fault, really.
Yes, it was. It was all his fault. And, God. Let me just start this by saying that I actually, well, like you said that you were really excited for this movie.
I haven't been more excited and then more let down at a movie since I can remember. I don't know the last time I was that let down at a movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I didn't even know the last movie I was ever really let down by. That's like really tough to think about now that
To be honest, I'm let down quite a bit, but I had this movie built up on Mount Everest.
Right, and the previews actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering,
well, looking back at the previews, we should have known. We just watched a few of the previews again, and we should have known that it's going to be stupid.
Well, it's a part of the problem with these modern action movies nowadays. It's like the villain. That's the first thing. There is no stakes. There was no stakes.
There were no stakes, and you didn't see in either of their faces that there was any danger that they were going to die, even when they were, quote, facing certain death.
Right. This was just another day on the job for them.
Yeah. The beginning sequence, I don't remember their names. What was the Russian guy's name?
It was Ilya or something like that.
Okay, we'll call him Ilya. Ilya, and then the other guy, Solo, Han Solo's great nephew, who is the uncle that is in the title. That's Han Solo.
Right.
He's chasing after this girl, and Solo was trying to protect the girl and get her out of Eastern Berlin.
Right.
Well, the whole time, they're fighting back and forth, shooting at each other, attacking each other with cars, and then shooting each other again, and then trying to escape. You never have any sense of danger. It's like the guy is still Superman, and he cannot be killed. There's nothing that can hurt him. And it's just another day in the life.
Ilya's just Ivan Drago's cousin or something like that.
Exactly.
They're just both, that's, I was just thinking about this the other day because there's a lot of problems with modern action movies is that they suffer from these same problems, and it's they don't take from the book of Die Hard is a great example of one of the best action movies ever made, and it's because it puts somebody who is normally he normally fights crime.
Yeah, but he's not a superhero.
Right, he's not a superhero, and you see him visibly get injured in the movie, but he's also in a place of weakness because he's in this tall building. He's got no shoes, no weapons, and he has to steal it from one of the bad guys and take him out one at a time. And that's an exciting concept because not only that, but his wife is one of the hostages in this situation.
Are we reviewing Die Hard now?
No,
Tim?
I'm just saying because in this movie, in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The Man from
The
U.N.C.L.E.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. Or Uncle Man, Age of Ultron.
Yeah. It's not just any man from U.N.C.L.E. It's the man from U.N.C.L.E.
there's nothing. Like, there's nothing that they have that's valuable enough to them that's sort of put in peril. They're not placed out of their element, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and the movie doesn't give a shit about that either, because there's one point when the boat that the Russian guy's driving explodes, and the crowd in the movie theater erupts in laughter. Yet he is dead.
Yeah,
as far as we know, his life is over. That's the end of the movie for him, which of course it's not, because they probably plan on making 6 more movies.
Oh yeah,
6 more of these Man from Uncle 18, Volume 6. Part 2.
Volume 6, Part 2. Yeah,
But
definitely.
it explodes, and there's no sense of danger, because the other guy's just sitting there, like, oh, maybe I should go
He's
save
like-
him now.
he's sitting
finish
there
the
like-
sandwich I was eating.
He's eating a sandwich, and yeah, it's like, oh, okay. So it's, and I mean, in the experience at the theater that we had the other day too, that everybody was just laughing at some of the dumbest crap, and it's like,
Oh, the guy walked into the room. Ha 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 ha.
yeah, exactly.
Who cares? How is that even a part of the movie?
Right.
Let alone a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's Russian and he's really tough. And this guy's American and looks like he's never been punched in the face before. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's the problem with it is just simply that, like, you don't care. You just don't care about what's happening, and that's
No, and they don't care either.
right.
He's sitting there eating a sandwich while the other guy's probably dead.
Right.
And he's just continuing to eat the sandwich. Why should we care?
Right, exactly. And this is the kind of movie that we assume the studios want to take seriously. You know what I mean? Like,
I wish it was like, I know the show was a little humorous too, but why not just make it serious? Like the
Right.
Mission Impossible movies have nothing to do with the show, yet people love those.
right. And I mean, at the same time, you know, these kind of movies, they take their liberties, and it's almost like they're just trying to be, I think it's what you said when we went to see Mission Impossible, which is just like they're trying to be dark and gritty and serious and all this crap. And I feel like this movie doesn't know what kind of action movie it wants to be. Like, it wants to be like James Bond, Mission Impossible, and I mean like the new Daniel Craig James Bond, not the good James Bonds, like
Sure, yeah.
Connery and Brosnan and I'm trying to think of
Well, Roger Moore.
Moore. That
Roger
was the
Moore,
other
my
one.
favorite James Bond.
Oh, really?
Everything, you knew that nothing really bad was going to happen, yet the end of the movie was still exciting. This movie was really not exciting because when the quote bad guys
Right.
go to sell their bomb to the Nazis, is that what they were trying to do?
I guess.
The Nazis somehow had a submarine in the 60s. Did they still have submarines? Did they still have stuff?
I don't even know how that would be still a thing in
And
the
then
Cold War.
We never see these Nazis.
Right.
Why
Exactly.
weren't they the bad guy?
It's
But they do that, and then, oh, he's on the phone talking to the girl. He's talking. Oh, this is probably going somewhere. Oh, no, now their boat's exploded.
and
They're dead.
Guy Ritchie just explains it for everybody there.
Guy Ritchie does his flashback exposition. Oh, well, you were doing this. I was doing this.
Right.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, it's just, it takes the excitement out of it. Number one, because there are no stakes, and number two, because there's no clearly defined villain. Like, there's 3 people that are supposedly, like, the bad guys in this movie, but they don't really pose any threat other than, like, oh, we've captured you and put you in this electric chair, and now we're going to electrocute you to death. But,
Yeah.
the other guy shows up, because that's got to happen.
So, wait. This is where the movie gets just fucking dumb. The girl in the movie is the niece of the bad guy who tortures Solo. So in the movie they use the word uncle to refer to him several times. These 2 people are going to be dealing with the uncle.
Right.
The man from Uncle, the movie. Stop using uncle.
Yeah.
Make him just a guy. Make him the father's friend. And then the father. Was the father a bad guy, or was he being held hostage? And
They never address that. They're just like, oh, look, here's the uncle. Now he's dead. Spoilers, by the way.
Oh,
I'm sure everybody's
who cares
like,
about spoilers?
yeah,
We're
I'm
going to
sure.
save you some money from seeing
We're
this
going
film.
to save you a whole $10.50.
We're going to save you the most precious commodity you have, which is your time. Don't.
Yes.
This movie's over 2 hours long. Do not waste your time.
Yeah, 2.5 hours long is just too long for this kind of movie,
It's too
especially with the way it's just done. It's not. It's just. It sucks. It's just the bottom line.
So the good guy's plan was to take the daughter of the rocket scientist, and do what with her? Go try to find the father because she somehow might know, except they find out in the beginning of the movie that she has no clue where he is.
Right.
So why did they even hang on to her? Let her go back to her stupid life being the most unbelievable car mechanic in East Berlin.
Right.
And if that's the way that car mechanics are in East Berlin, I'm moving there tomorrow.
I mean, like that is the other thing. Like, they made her a car mechanic, but they never exploited that strength of hers. Like, she's a car mechanic.
They did.
They did like
Remember when they went to
once.
the party and then she became friends with the bad guy's husband?
Right.
Yeah. Remember when that panned out into anything?
Yeah,
Me
no,
either.
it didn't.
No, it did not.
It was just so bad.
And why did she need to be a car mechanic? Was that something from the show? Like I said, I haven't watched the show, but was that something from the show where the people that have seen it would say, oh yeah, she was a mechanic? Who cares if she's a mechanic?
Right.
Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Why does it matter? She could be a baker or a prostitute. I don't know.
I mean, that would have fit the stereotype of these kind of action movies, at least. It's just
It would have been a Guy Ritchie move.
Right, probably.
Oh, she was a mechanic in the show? All right, she's a hooker now.
She's a hooker.
And she's
now.
a drug addict.
She's a drug addict. Oh, God, are we thinking of Kiss of the Dragon now all of a sudden?
I want to say something about Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
This movie, converted to be Mission Impossible, would have been good. You could have Arm & Hammer playing Jim Phelps and Superman playing Rollin. Have the girl play Cinnamon. Find a black dude to play Barney.
Mm-hmm.
And then get, I don't know, a big dude to play, what's his name? What the hell's the other guy's name? I haven't seen that show in a while.
Wait, are we talking
the big
about
strong guy? What the hell's his name?
in Mission Impossible?
Yeah, the TV show. What's his name?
Oh, I haven't even seen the show. I wouldn't even know.
We gotta watch that. It's a good show.
Well, anyway, I mean, who would be the big guy?
Yeah. Just find a big guy.
Just find a big guy like The Rock or something.
That's two more actors. Yeah, The Rock could do it. Definitely.
Yeah, he could probably do that.
Of course.
I don't even know what the
Okay,
character
then you just
is.
find a black dude to play Barney, and then you have the perfect Mission Impossible team. And then you keep it in the 60s. You get rid of Guy Ritchie because he's stupid. And there you go. No more of that Tom Cruise fake Mission Impossible stuff.
Right.
Those are just action movies with the title Mission Impossible tacked onto it.
Right.
Just as I'm sure this is just a stupid movie with the Man from U.N.C.L.E. tacked onto it.
That's pretty much what most of these movies are. It's kind of how I felt about the Fantastic Four movie. It was just a stupid fucking...
I'll be completely honest with you. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen either of the other two ones. I haven't seen any of them. The story just does not interest me at all.
It's not... I mean, the new one is not really interesting, and you could probably skip the last two, so it's okay.
Well, then there you go. I'm off the hook.
That's pretty much how it's going to work. So, I mean, this movie, it just... Like I said earlier, it's just kind of... It's suffering... Like, a lot of these action movies are just kind of suffering from the same predictable crap, where it's just kind of like... You don't care, and it's a serious problem because that movie actually had the potential to be really fun and interesting.
The beginning sequence when Ilya is chasing Solo.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited.
Yeah, I was
thought
too.
This is good. I like both these characters. That girl is really hot, and I like the setting and everything.
Right,
and the fact that. It turned out to be a kind of a downfall in the movie, but Solo was so confident in his plan they get stuck in between two walls in a car, and she says, well, what are we going to do now? Well, you're going to go take a left through the window, and there's a window right there in the building. He had that planned out. I was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
He kind of had that, like, ultra confident, planned out everything throughout the whole movie, and there was no danger.
Right.
Plus, you knew from the beginning that none of these three were going to die. None of them.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert again. You think in about 3/4 of the way through the film, so this is about 5 hours of sitting in the theater, that the girl has turned on them.
Yeah.
Well, you know that that's not going to happen. It's not true. She's just playing a trick. And
right.
yeah, spoiler alert again, she is playing a trick.
And it's like the new Mission Impossible, where she's just playing double agent for British intelligence.
Double, triple, quadruple agent. There you go.
Yeah. It's like, make up your goddamn mind.
Exactly. It's just so cliche that we've seen it 40, 50 times in the past 10 years.
Like, at that point, I almost kind of expected it when we saw the movie.
Oh, I definitely... in Guy Ritchie fashion, the
lady is always, like, devious and...
Yeah, and then the way that you find out that the lady is bad, quote, not bad. Sorry, parentheses, not bad.
Right.
You find out is in Guy Ritchie fashion with quick flashbacks.
Right, exactly. It's like everything's all explained, and then it's like, oh, okay, exactly. So she's not bad?
but the point when you first see it, when they just do the quick cuts and they don't show, like, the meat of it, you already know what's going on.
Right.
It's just wasted time.
Exactly.
They could have cut 45 minutes out of this movie and it would have been better.
That's just, yeah, exactly. Like, and they had so much potential because just the beginning alone, it was exciting because of, like, the way the scene was done, like you said, and then, like, they could have totally combined that whole expertise, you know, like Solo's cool, suave spy skills, and then she could have implemented some of her mechanic skills or whatever into their missions and stuff, and I thought that would be cool to see, and that's kind of what I expected, because they opened the movie and she's a mechanic working on a car, and I figured, okay, so we're going to see more of this because she's a mechanic, but we never really see any more. She just, what was it, in the scene where she's at that racetrack, and she's like, oh, you want me to fix that for you? And they're like, oh, sure, and she just looks at it.
Yeah, and then the bad guys, she goes, here, I need a wrench.
Oh, that's right.
Does anyone give her a wrench? We don't know. We don't
know.
See.
They just cut away.
Maybe that'll be in the extended director's cut. We can only hope.
There's a whole scene of her just fixing shit.
It's like a YouTube how-to video. Well, to adjust this,
so it's just
no. It would have her do it really quick, and then it would. Be a Guy Ritchie flashback to, well, actually, when
right, or it would be like super slow motion, like in the Sherlock Holmes movies, where it's like, I will adjust the nut here, and then it's all like, and then she just goes ahead and does it, and it's just like real time, so it takes her like 2 hours to do after that. It's like, oh, okay, Jesus. So,
how about that? The party scene when. Everyone basically does a shitty job at what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
Solo goes in, steals from Hugh Grant. What are the odds that it was Hugh Grant, the guy basically running the whole movie? Yeah. What are the odds that he would bump into him to steal his ticket? It's just so unbelievable. Oh, well, because it was set up by Hugh Grant.
Right.
Oh, really? So basically Hugh Grant is smarter than everyone else in the movie? Fuck you, Hugh Grant. I hope you're listening to this. I hate you. You haven't had a good movie since 2001. Right. That's what Matt said last night.
I did say that last night. And you know what? It was just like, I said to you after we left the movie, too, that if they had never included him in the rest of the movie after that whole scene where Superman steals from him, I would have never known he was in the movie.
To be honest, I recognized him right away, and I said, is no one going to acknowledge that was Hugh Grant? What's going on? Because then you know that he's a part of the movie. Well, to me, because I recognize him, I guess if you didn't recognize him, this wouldn't apply to you, but you know that he's going to have a role in the movie.
Right.
And it's stupid. Why? How did he get the invitation to the party, but the heroes couldn't, or
Right.
at least Solo couldn't?
And then, like, Armie Hammer and, what's her name? I don't even know the actress's name. The other chick.
We should have done some research.
I guess, but who
Girl.
cares?
We'll call her the girl.
The
from
girl.
Uncle.
The girl from some movie we haven't heard of yet. So, and watching the trailers too, they even advertise Hugh Grant is in the movie. And I didn't even see that many trailers when going in, so I did not expect to see him in the movie. And then him just have like a bigger role. And it's like, why? What? Why? Where
Well,
did like...
they're with the sequel they're planning, he's probably going to be a major part of it.
Boy.
I don't think they're going to make the sequel because I think they didn't make any money on this. I was reading about it. They didn't make anything.
Yeah, and you know it was even... You see, this is also a thing. This is completely off topic, but it's also a reason these kind of movies and like the rating systems on like places like Rotten Tomatoes. I actually saw, like, when I was going through stuff that I wanted to see, there was like a 68% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie. And that's how I know that it's just bullshit. But then, of course, I went through all the other reviews, and it's like people were saying that it was bad, and I even wrote a review on it myself.
How many tomatoes did you give it, or whatever the fuck it is?
Well, for non-professional reviewers, it's just 1 out of 5 stars.
Professional reviewer. Do you have to go to school to be a reviewer?
I don't think so.
Oh shit! I got homework for my review class.
Dang it!
I'm gonna give this class a terrible review once I'm a professional reviewer.
Yeah, there you go. Fight the power. So, this, in general, I mean, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is definitely not worth your time. Especially not 2.5 hours of your time.
No, if it was 80 minutes, I would have been a lot happier with it.
Right. It would have at least been entertaining, but it dragged on to the point where it was like, okay, when is this going to be over? Because there really isn't anything else that we need to see at this point. At least that's what I was thinking towards the end. Like, there was parts where I thought that the end was coming, and it just kept going. I'm like...
And then the end comes really quick, and
Right.
everything gets solved in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, you know what I just thought of today is that little data disc that Armie Hammer was after,
Sure.
and they were like going to fight each other for it.
Yeah, the little
I love
stupid
how
blue
Hugh
thing.
Grant never like was like, "Oh, what's that you're burning?"
No,
like,
he did. He did say that.
Did he?
Yeah, remember he came up and he said, "Oh, you got a bonfire there. That's a smart idea." That was the one thing that he said that actually made sense.
Really?
Yeah, he said that's a smart idea because if either of them had gotten it, then the other one would have had to kill the other one.
Right, and it wouldn't have... I guess, okay, I didn't see it as that. I thought he was just saying that being oblivious to the fact that it was the data disc.
He knew.
Oh, okay. Well, that I didn't catch.
Plus,
catch
don't
that.
forget, Hugh Grant knows all.
Oh, of course. Since 2001, he's known all.
He stopped making movies and started learning.
Yep. He went to the Himalayas and learned with the Tibetan monks. So, yeah, definitely not worth the $10 and the 2.5 hours of your time. I mean, the only real charming thing about this whole movie was Henry Cavill, because he was actually good, but he sounded like... when we were watching the previews, I said that, you know, he sounds like John Kennedy, for Christ's sake. Like, he's always talking like this.
He's always got the thing in his voice where it's like the cliche 60s confident man.
Right.
He's so confident in himself, and there's not a hair on his head out of place, ever. In this, he's being tortured, electrocuted, and he looks damn gorgeous.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
At one point, this, I don't know if this was ever explained, but at one point in the film, right after he gets out of being tortured, when he's sitting in the chair and you're just thinking, when's the Russian guy gonna come save him?
Right.
When's this gonna happen?
Yeah.
You know it's gonna happen. Well, it happens, and then they're outside the thing talking about what they're gonna do with the guy torturing him, and little do they know he's being burned alive. Hilarious, right? Just comedy gold right here.
Right.
It's so funny. And then at the end of it, he says something like this: "I forgot my jacket in there." So now he's just in a shirt and a vest and a tie. and pants, of course, and whatever he has
Right.
underneath. Yeah,
Everything, the
everything
dress
except,
outfit.
everything except for the coat.
Right.
And everything's still perfect after having been tortured. Well, his fashion's obviously very important to him. They then, after that, get put onto an aircraft carrier, a British aircraft carrier. And then in the next scene, he has a coat. So they had a perfect coat, because he wouldn't wear another coat.
Right.
Just any old coat, because fashion's very important to him. But now he has got, or maybe he changed the whole suit. I didn't pay attention to that. But he has a coat on now. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
Oh, because it's British, they have every
Oh,
kind
yes.
of clothing thing that you need.
Yeah, exactly. It was just... Oh, okay.
All right, can we take a second to talk about the accents?
Yeah,
There
go
was
for it.
one person in this movie that I think used their own accent, and that was Hugh Grant. And I didn't want to
Yeah.
listen to what he had to say anyways.
Right.
Everyone in this film used a different accent or an accent that didn't fit their role.
Right.
The German chick, to me, sounded like an American person. Didn't sound German at all.
Yeah, I
didn't.
didn't really get an accent from her. Now that I'm thinking about it now, it was just like a stereotypical Eastern European girl.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything specific.
And then, what's his name? The guy that played the American guy's boss. What's his name in real life?
Oh, I don't know. He's
Jared Harris.
Oh,
Jared
that's
Harris.
right,
He
his
was
name.
in the,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
Moriarty in the second Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Good British actor.
Yeah, he is good.
Terrible at accents.
Right.
Apparently can't do an American accent. Because the whole movie, he just sounded like this.
He sounds like the gruff and tough chief of police
Yeah.
with the cigar in his mouth.
It sounded terrible.
Right.
And it took me out of the entire movie every time he opened his mouth.
Well, because we know he's British, so it's like when he try, it's almost like he's forcing this gruff American
True.
officer.
But we know that Armie Hammer is American.
Right.
Yet he passed off as Russian to me.
Yeah, I would say
it was
he did.
decent.
I would say he did. I mean, I don't really know my accents crazy well, but I can tell you that he convinced me as a
He
Russian.
didn't sound like to me. He didn't sound like an American guy forcing a Russian accent.
Yeah.
I'm Russian, can't you tell?
Right. Exactly. And you know what? The other thing is we're on a roll here, and I'm liking this too because I was thinking about this as we're making all these discussions and criticisms about it. Is that like Solo is the only character in the movie that you kind of really get to know because they really only get into like his background for a little bit. Like he was a thief, and he's blackmailed by the CIA to do their dirty work, and then he became like his best agent or whatever. And they never really get into the other guy that much.
Oh, except that his father was a disgrace.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. They never bring anything else up. So it's like they just wanted us to only care about Cavill.
Well, I think they wasted time. They wasted the time on his background, or they wasted half the time on his background, and then they wasted the half for the other guy on the fake, like, stupid love story between him and the girl, and they
Right.
never even end up kissing.
Right.
Or they get so close so many times, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's gonna
I know,
happen."
exactly.
Then it doesn't happen, and then there's zero payoff, and then she just walks out of the room.
Right.
Sequel, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But why would there be? I mean, it just didn't work.
No.
But they never I guess what bothered me about it though was that they advertised these two characters as a big part of this movie, and they only seem to like flesh out one of them to where he's got like this whole backstory, and you get to know who he is as a character.
Yeah, he's the only one you care about.
And then the other one's just like this cardboard cutout of fucking Ivan Drago with a secret agent type style.
His father's watch.
Right.
Oh,
They
wow.
never.
And then he gets these periods of extreme anger and beats people up and flips. He flips like 4 tables over in this movie. They must have had extremely light tables because he uses like his fingertips and he just flips
they just
the table.
fly everywhere and smash into millions of pieces.
And he destroys the hotel room at the end.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
That's gonna cost money, man.
Yeah.
That's taxpayer money.
That's gonna go on his fucking hotel tab. Dude.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like, oh sir, we've charged you an extra 500 euros for the damage you've done to your hotel suite.
I don't think they had euros in the 60s, but all right.
Oh well, I don't know
Come
what the
on,
currency
man.
would
Come
be.
on, man.
What would be the currency in
I
what
don't
was it?
know.
Italy they were in?
Italy, yeah. I don't fucking know.
I don't even know what that would be either. So the hell if I fucking know. But there's that. So they didn't really get into that, and just as I guess what I'm trying to address here is that the characters there's really only one character in this movie because everybody else is just like this one-dimensional piece in the puzzle that's just there for Henry Cavill to interact with.
Pretty
You
much.
know what I mean? Like that's the whole movie. It's just basically like a test film for him to be like a future James Bond or in an Archer live action movie.
That would have been a better way to go.
Right.
Archer live action. Just put the guy's voice over his mouth moving. I would have loved that.
And it probably would have made for a much more interesting movie.
I read that the actors got like flipped around and so many different people were going to direct, and Tom Cruise was going to be Solo and then Cavill was going to be the Russian guy.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't like that either. I guarantee it.
Really?
But I lost my train of thought there.
Well,
I bet Hugh Grant still would have been in it.
Right.
And it would have been shit just because
well,
of
with
that.
Tom Cruise being in it, and I feel like that would have improved, but instead he decided to make Mission Impossible 5.
Tom Cruise, every role Tom Cruise does now is the same pretty much too. From 2006 or 7, he hasn't done really anything except these action roles where you know he's in no danger the whole time.
Except for Edge of Tomorrow. I
Yeah.
feel like he wasn't like in the beginning of that movie.
Yeah, in the beginning he's not like this superhero,
He's like
but
a
by
fucking
the end
coward.
of it, he's a superhero.
Right. Okay, fair enough. By the end of it, he does become somewhat of a superhero. But, I mean, I think it was it's one of his better movies of last year.
It was a great movie. I loved it.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
But
And
even Jack Reacher, when he's kind of like John McClane, where he was in the Army.
right.
And he was good at that, but he doesn't do that now, and he's not going around the world solving crimes and
Right.
beating people up. And at one point he gets hit in the head with a baseball bat,
and then
but
all
then
of a sudden,
he just
yeah.
blind rage kills everyone.
Yep.
Pretty much just
It just-
defeats everybody.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Now you're all dead. Dead,
Yeah,
dead.
this little tiny 5 foot whatever man he weighs 122 pounds, beating everybody up.
Exactly. Although I did really like Jack Reacher myself.
I love that movie
That was
too. I
fucking
really
awesome.
liked it too.
So, I mean, out of all of them, I guess since we're gonna get on the topic of that, and we're doing
No,
Man from Uncle.
I don't want to do that. I want to. Man from Uncle deserves our time.
I know, and I mean, it would have been better. I feel like, personally, it would have been better if Tom Cruise was in the movie instead of Mission Impossible 5.
I think it would have been on par with Night and Day.
Really? You
Yeah,
think
because
so?
it would have been extremely similar.
I didn't actually see all of Night and Day. I
Good
did
for
see
you.
pieces of it on TV.
Don't waste your time.
I just wasn't really. It was forgettable to say the
You can
least.
basically just put. You know what? Just watch that, and then pretend that Cameron Diaz is a Russian dude, but then pretend she actually isn't annoying the whole movie, and just put Tom Cruise in the character of Napoleon Solo. There you go.
There you go.
Because it's the same character pretty much.
All right, fair enough. I can see that. I mean, I probably won't ever watch the movie.
Please
I mean,
don't. Please
I
don't.
haven't. I saw it on TV. The only reason I watched it was because it was on TV, and I was like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, Night and Day. I heard this is bad, but I'll watch it anyway because why not?"
There's also no reason for it to be called Night and Day.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. They never really
One of
address
their
it.
names was Knight. I think his name was Knight, but
Something
then it was
Knight.
just Night and Day. That's the name. Why? Who knows?
Who cares? It's a Tom Cruise movie. Pay your $10.50.
He's gonna beat everyone up. You know that.
Yeah.
The end.
Yep. The end. So yeah, we're looking at this big old screen for Man of Uncle 2, and at least from all the YouTube trailers that we've been watching, because this movie was literally almost nearly erased from both of our minds.
Yeah,
Although,
I forgot it even before we left the movie.
that's pretty much how that went for us. It's just, oh wait, what did we see yesterday? Oh yeah, that one with Superman in it, and that other guy who was in The Social Network.
Yeah, and then the girl who was in it was the girl who was in The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's in nothing else, apparently.
Nothing else that I've heard of, anyway.
Oh, and the bad guys, who were they played by? Anyone good? Was
Oh.
Gene Hackman the bad guy? No.
No.
No, it's nobody.
That
Just
would have
some-
actually made for a more interesting movie.
Oh, definitely. Just some stereotypical looking Italian guy and a blonde girl.
Right.
Who was apparently
Just-
a Nazi.
right.
Who knows?
And they never, like, oh, that's the thing that bothered me the most about it, because it's like, most of the time I was like, okay, so I get it, they're trying to get rid of these bombs, but who's the threat? Like, who's the one that's going to try and
Nazis,
stop
man.
them? Oh, the Nazis.
what doesn't make sense
What
is
is this,
that-
fucking Indiana Jones 3? Like,
No,
oh,
it's Indiana
the
Jones
Nazis.
6, man.
6. Oh, jeez.
All right, what doesn't make sense is what's her motivation? She wants money because the Nazis are going to buy it from her. She's already rich. She has a friggin' island.
Right.
Why? You don't need more money. You have enough.
It's because she's a Nazi. That's all you need to know. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I
much
guess,
how the
yeah.
writing meetings went. They were just like, or the writers' meetings went. They were just like, yeah, she's a Nazi. That's all you need. That's all you should care about. People hate
Except
Nazis.
the Nazis in this film are not a threat at all.
Right.
Maybe if there was some guy like with a swastika on his arm or something, and he was killing people, I'd say, "Holy, we should stop that Nazi."
Right.
But no, we're just gonna drop a bomb onto the Nazi lady. Is she a Nazi? I don't know. She's blonde.
It
She's
just
got blue
doesn't.
eyes. I
It
don't
just
know.
doesn't fit. Like nothing about it. Like we keep repeating, which is that there is no fucking stakes.
Plus, you know that they want 4 or 5 more of these movies. So
Oh,
none
of
of the
course.
three main characters are gonna die.
Right.
There's not even a chance.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you know that going in, and it takes away from the movie immensely. They shouldn't have had the torture scene.
Right.
They shouldn't have had the betrayal scene. They
Yeah.
They should have walked in, had Hugh Grant on the screen, and said, "Hello, welcome to The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm going to explain to you the plot, and then there's going to be a flashback to me explaining the plot because it's a Guy Ritchie movie, and then you're going to leave.
Yes.
And I'm going to save you 2.5 hours."
It's,
Thanks, Hugh
it's
Grant.
done in 15 minutes. That's pretty much the movie.
That'd be good.
Honestly, like, that, I think that, like, we could actually pretty much summarize the movie as that an American agent and a Russian agent have to team up in order to stop the Nazis from starting nuclear war.
That's giving it way too much credit.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. But it's not fun. Like, it sounds fun, but it's not. It's not fun at all.
No.
It's like that. It just doesn't, like, I don't, like I said, I'm not really even anywhere close to being familiar with the show. Didn't even know that was the show before when I saw the previews for it. I just thought it was some weird spy movie and that somebody was planning on doing. I didn't even know Guy Ritchie was doing it, but when I had seen the previews, I was like, oh, looks interesting, but it's not as interesting as it looks at all. And
No.
that's the unfortunate part, is that it had the potential to be really good and really interesting, because, like, how many period action pieces are there out there that are decent, at least?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess if I had to say anything, it would be the Sherlock Holmes movies. Those were decent.
I enjoyed
period
both
movies.
of those.
Yeah, they were both good, but that's about it. That's all that Guy Ritchie has done, at least as far as I've known, that is any good.
I don't know. He's got some good movies from 20 years ago or so.
I mean, I'm not even familiar with what they were.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Don't waste your.
It's probably not
at
even
this
worth
point,
it.
who gives a shit? That should be the tagline for this movie. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? No, it should be, he's in the chair. That's the thing. Ah, jeez.
And then the movie ends with Hugh Grant coming out and saying, "Oh, you've got a code name now. It's Uncle." Why?
And they never
Why?
explain.
Like, we know from the TV show it's an acronym meaning, I fucking forget, something law and enforcement or something.
Really?
Like that. Yeah, there is an actual thing. But it's never once explained in the movie. And then, like I said earlier, there's an uncle in the film referred to as the uncle. Is that
really?
Is
okay.
in the movie?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be because they did a mission where there was an uncle, so they figured uncle's a good name, but they're not going to tell us the acronym because in the movie there is no acronym.
Right.
It just has to do with that guy who happened to be the girl's uncle.
It's like, what? Like, why not? I don't even know. Like that stuttering that I was just doing is the reaction to the end, because it was just like, what the hell does uncle mean? Like, what does it stand for? Are you gonna even say anything? Nope. Movie's over. Thanks for your $10.50. Bye. Oh, okay. Fuck you, Hugh Grant.
Yeah, Hugh Grant was the biggest problem in this film. If you take anything away from this review, know that it was Hugh Grant's fault that this movie failed.
Yep. All Hugh Grant's fault.
They should make Hugh Grant pay the money that the movie cost to make.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Refunds all should be referred to Hugh Grant and his foundations or whatever. I don't know.
Just go to his house and start taking shit that he owes you.
That's worth $10.50.
Yeah. I'm sure he has
Plenty of things worth $10.50 at his house.
I mean, he probably lives in a shack if he makes movies like this.
I'm sure.
He lives in a trailer park somewhere.
I know, because whenever you see his name in the marquee, you're looking at it going, oh, everybody's lining up with their $10 ready to go in to see the movie. Hugh Grant's in it. Oh, yeah.
What was, name one good Hugh Grant movie that you like? Where he's one of the stars, pretty much. Not like a movie where he's just in it. Like, he was in Cloud Atlas. I enjoyed that movie.
He was in Cloud Atlas?
Yeah. He was one of the people that changed their faces.
Really?
Yeah, like in the different clips, but name one good Hugh Grant movie where he's one of the stars.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. That's the problem. I didn't even know he was in Cloud Atlas. That's how unnoticeable Hugh Grant is as an actor. It never crossed my mind. And I saw Cloud Atlas too, and I didn't even notice that he was in it.
I also cannot think of one where I liked it. I don't even know if I've seen that many of them.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that many.
I was too young. I was a little kid when he was like a star. And even then, what was he a star for? Like 2 movies, and they were the same movie back to back?
I know. I don't know the name of it, but I remember one that was like, it was something about music, and he was like a musician or like a music producer or something. I don't know what the name of the movie was.
Sounds like shit already.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't really like, I just remember hearing about that when that was happening, and I don't know. That's the only Hugh Grant movie I can think of. I don't even know the name of the movie, but somebody else was in it with him, and it was even somebody even less famous than he was. So at least we know his fucking name, right? That's got to count for something. So yeah, that's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. People, don't go see it. It's really, really bad.
Please do not see it.
It's not a fun movie. It's not like Kingsman or anything like that.
And you'd think from the laughter in the theater that you're going in to see a stand-up comedy show. Like they brought George Carlin back from the dead.
Oh, God.
And we're watching his show, or it wasn't funny at all.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of really funny parts.
I don't know if those people were drunk or high or whatever, but it was not funny.
I mean, I was a little buzzed when we went, and even then I wasn't like... I laughed at maybe like 2 things. Not even laughed. I was like...
There's one part when she takes the Russian's hand and slaps him in his own face with his own hand. I smiled at that.
Yeah,
I did
because
not
that was
laugh once in this film. People were laughing hysterically, like you'd see at a deaf comedy show where they're like hitting everyone around them because they can't control anything. They're slapping their friends in the face
Right.
and punching them in the balls. That's what people in the theater were doing, and there were 2 children in front of us that looked younger than 10 years old.
yeah, and
Children.
It definitely wasn't meant for them either. I
No,
mean,
but it was PG-13, so they can come right on in.
oh yeah, totally. I'm sure they'll understand what's going on in the movie,
Oh
especially
yeah, I'm
if
sure they understood every part that they were laughing hysterically at.
I'm sure they were. Jesus Christ, that's gonna be that's gonna be something that just don't go see it, folks.
God, no, do not, please.
So with that said, that's the review, folks. We've been chatting about this for a good long while now. Feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes. We're gonna try and keep doing these. Hopefully, we'll get some video cameras in here and do some more
No
interesting
video
crap.
cameras. New episode every week.
New episode every week. All right, we'll probably do Straight Outta Compton
Can't promise it.
next.
Can't promise that either.
We'll see what
We're
happens.
not promising anything.
Yeah, we can't really promise much of anything at the moment.
Yeah,
but
we don't know if there's going to be another episode. The chances are there won't be.
thanks for liking and commenting on this video, and we will
If
see
you did, what if they didn't like or comment on them?
Well, then feel free to subscribe. Cause
What if they don't want to subscribe?
well, then they don't
Feel
have
free.
to.
Feel free to do it.
If you'd like to support us, then yes,
You don't
like,
have to
comment, and
support us.
subscribe.
You don't have to support us.
Peace
Do
out,
not like,
everybody.
comment, or subscribe.